see a fire burning outside your house, outside your college, at the gate. You see so many people sitting at night, burning fires out of garbage, rubber, whatever refuse that they find everywhere. Does anyone stop and think what an impact that's making to the air that we breathe? We used to watch science fiction movies and read books that showed people wearing oxygen masks. And now when we're gasping for breath and the air quality reaches 800, 900 and higher, this is a situation that each of us in our cities is facing. What can we do about it? The garbage that we have in our houses, each one of us, what do you do to reduce this and to make sure that it doesn't go into landfills together? We can actually reuse and reduce every bit of garbage that we produce, whether it's at home, at school, at college, or at work. All your green waste and your food waste can actually all be composted. This is liquid gold. We all buy our compost and use it whether in our vegetables or whether in our flowers, in the grass that's grown around us. The college uses it and all the organizations use it. If we simply have compost pits or compost bins wherever we are, we can actually reduce 3/4 of the garbage that comes out of everybody's home, office, and any space. What about the rest of it? Now devices are not made to last. Whether it's a phone, a computer, a fridge, a TV, a car, you're supposed to change it every 2 years. That's all very well, but what happens to the device after you exchange it? It's all just going into landfills, it's being thrown into space, God knows where it's going. So we need to think. Think before you buy, think before you just keep changing devices. How can we reduce? We need to think about reusing, reducing, repurposing, rethinking what we do. And if we are able to rethink, now over COVID, a lot of us were sitting at home and when we had meetings, at times I would just put a dupatta which looked like a sari and attend a meeting. Like many of you guys would just put on a jacket and you were wearing shorts underneath, or we don't want to know what else you were wearing. But do we need all the clothes that are there in our wardrobes? Do you know that the retail industry in clothes actually has the maximum number of wastage? There are so many clothes that are hanging on retail shelves that are never worn and simply go into landfills. We are lucky that in India, at least we have a system where we give away clothes to our staff, to the community, and I don't think many of us throw away clothes. When you choose what you buy, what you wear, what you eat, you need to make an informed choice, because what we're talking about is not about a better tomorrow. There's no today anymore, because we are struggling to breathe. We are struggling with diseases every day. And these diseases can all be eliminated by what we do in our lives. What you use to wash your hair with, using tooth powder instead of toothpaste. Think about all those tubes that are going into landfills everywhere. If you use bamboo pens, if you use pencils instead of pens, and now that everything is technology has taken over, we simply write on our devices. We reuse devices. We work in our village with the Digital Empowerment Foundation, which actually collects old tablets and old phones, and it helps children in rural areas who don't have any such access to devices, and they simply repurpose and redo devices. So you can find organizations all around you. There are organizations like Chroma, which actually takes your old computers and phones, and they actually repurpose them. So you need to look at what are the options for you, what do you do with old tires. So we build playgrounds for children in villages. It's so much fun. Why should we have everything made out of plastic? Whether it's from your shoes to your, picking handloom and cotton for what you wear, to picking, natural and sustainable sources of jewelry, everything that you wear and you use actually makes a difference to the environment. Whether you choose to dye your hair or not, I may face flack for having grey hair, but if that's the way I want to do it, that's up to me. Women don't have to face the burden of, using a whole lot of cosmetics which actually ruin your skin, they pollute the ground. The drinks that we have, water is the best thing to drink, but water is not pure anymore. And I'm really happy to see that you all have glass bottles here. But plastic water bottles are the #1 cause of so many diseases because they are transported in the heat and the ultraviolet rays, and what the plastic, what gets absorbed, the toxins into the water, and people think that they are drinking something that's very safe and very pure. Carry your own water bottle wherever you go. So there are a lot of little changes that you can make in your life every day, which is, sustainability is a huge concept. But what can you do to make a difference? Each of you can actually make a huge difference to the way that, climate change and the way that our whole environment is. Think about what you eat every day. If we buy from our local producers, from our local farmers, if we eat what's local, seasonal, and fresh. The doctor says eat an apple a day, but an apple isn't in season all around the year. Apples in North India are mostly in season, say from August to the end of November, perhaps from Kashmir by December. And if you're eating an apple any other time of the year, it's being imported. And so think of the carbon footprint of that apple coming from wherever it is around the world, the wax that coats it, all the different additives that are added to make it look red and shiny. In Uttarakhand now, nobody wants to grow cholai, they don't want to grow different types of lentils because everybody wants to buy those red shiny apples. So they put a huge amount of pesticides into the soil to make sure that they've got those shiny apples to sell across. Now, if you buy fruit and vegetables, if you buy something that doesn't look perfect, after all, none of us look perfect either, right? We all have our own imperfections. So pick that, cabbage or that cauliflower that's not perfect because that's the one that has less pesticides. Buy from your local farmers and buy what's seasonal. We don't have to all eat avocados and drink almond milk just because, we're told it's the healthy thing to do. Have a balanced diet. Now, we bake our own whole wheat bread, which sometimes we put ragi in it, sometimes we put, different grains in it. And it's a sardo bread and it's delicious. And when I eat, market white bread, to me, it tastes like cardboard and I can't eat it. We have such a rich, diverse food ecosystem in our country that we need to actually cut out everything that's in a packet because it makes you ill. You need to eat everything that gives you life energy because we are alive. So if we're going to eat products that are dead and wrapped up in packaging without any oxygen, that's what you're going to do. You're going to actually kill every living cell in your body. Apart from the fact that, they are processed and the amount of carbon footprint and the amount that you are also affecting the environment by buying every single packaged product, you can make a huge difference. We may go to the highest mountain or to the most remote part of the country. You won't find medicines or anything that's, essential items, but you will find a packet of chips and a soft drink wherever you go. So this is up to us. We're the consumers. We've got to stop buying them. We've got to tell people to stop smoking. We've got to get the government to stop subsidizing cigarettes, pan masala. It's up to us. We don't like that red spit everywhere. So we are the ones who've got to make the change. We've got to stop waiting for somebody else to come along and make it happen. Each of you are the ones actually. The weight of this rests very heavily on each of our shoulders. And because you are the ones who are going to make sure that you have a better tomorrow, it's up to you now to make sure that this stops with each one of us. It's the choice that each of you will make about what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat. It's about learning also to live your life in a more sustainable manner. Practicing gratitude, just a few minutes every day, to be thankful for what we have. Then perhaps we won't crave all the things that we don't have. Visualizing, what you want in life. And it's a wonderful feeling, you know, how would you feel when something like that happens? So perhaps all of us have to just visualize a greener and better earth for birthdays and for occasions, plant trees. If you grow your own food as well, whether it is from growing bean sprouts, you know, chana dal sprouts or green moong sprouts in your home, you can grow herbs on your windowsill. We've got, you know, options like hydroponics and aquaponics that can be grown in small places. To, of course, if you have a balcony, a farm, a garden, you can actually grow things that you can eat in a very small area. And the number of nutrients that that gives you, apart from the feeling of, it's a great feeling of accomplishment, right? People teach children that you plant something and you see it grow. And it's just, it gives you a lot of happiness to see that plant grow. And when you actually are able to pluck tomatoes or a strawberry or even spinach and eat it from your own, whether your windowsill or your garden, the nutrients, of course, are very good for you, but you are doing a great service to actually oxygenating your environment, creating your own food, reducing your carbon footprint. There are lots of lifestyle changes like this that you can make. Learning how to do things for yourself, using a cycle sometimes, carpooling. So these are all things now that we've been reading about for decades, but now the change has to be made by each one of us. Whether you choose to visit a mall on a weekend or whether you choose to pick, you know, visiting a farm. We have this concept of farm experiences and farm stays. For a holiday, why don't you go and stay on a farm instead? You can see stars at night and you can eat food that's actually freshly grown there. And, you know, like in the mango season, you can eat mangoes sitting under a mango tree. We have such a rich, diverse ecosystem, whether it's apple orchards up in Uttarakhand or strawberry plants in Nasik or in Darjeeling. We've got every type of fruit and a really beautiful natural ecosystem that's waiting for you all to go out there and just enjoy it. It is something that's an indescribable feeling that it will give you when you realize that we are all part of the same ecosystem and it depends on us as much as we depend on it. So instead of taking away from this ecosystem, we've got to start giving back to it. And all of you can make a difference to this. Thank you.